Today is Thursday, August 8th, and I would like to welcome all of you to our fourth official meeting for Content Creators Toastmasters. It is so lovely to see all of you here. We have people representing from the East Coast to the Central time zone to Western time zone. So, all across the United States, we're here and we have a guest speaker today. So, we have a great meeting in store for all of us. And I'm Jenna Picata. I am the president of Content Creators Toastmasters. And just to give you a little bit of background, if this is the first time that you're joining us, I have been in Toastmasters for 5 years, a little more than 5 years. And I've always had this in my mind that I wanted one, Toastmasters has helped me find my voice. And when I discovered that I actually have important things to say, I really wanted to create a club where it could be a safe place for us to share ideas and practice our public speaking and practice the content that we are most passionate about, and that in a safe place so that we can feel confident in putting it out there to the world, because it is my belief that we all have an important voice, a unique perspective that the world needs to hear. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to pass this over to our Toastmaster. Everybody welcome Jim Vitrano.
Well, the real welcome is for all of you. We're glad you're here at Content Creators today. It's a really nice evening where I'm at. I'm actually, I think John said he was a little bit east of Sacramento, and that's a fair description for me too. A little bit farther east. I'm actually in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But it's a nice summer evening here, and it's hopefully a nice summer evening in the Bay Area and wherever else you might be. And glad you're spending your evening with us. Just Jenny gave us a real nice introduction to the meeting. And again, yes, we are here to inspire budding content creators of all different types. We've got YouTubers, we've got podcasters, we've got authors, and I think tonight we've got a painter too. So that's one that we haven't featured here before. It'll be real interesting to hear. Pictures are supposedly worth 1,000 words, and I think we'll find out more about that later. See, this being a Toastmasters club, we have some of the traditional Toastmasters roles as well. Most meetings have a word of the day, and Jenna picked one out for us today. It is rapport. Not a TPS report that needs a cover sheet, but it's a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. Yes, an actual connection. Our podcast host is always able to establish a good rapport with our guests. All right, there's our word of the day. If you use it, somebody here will probably recognize it and do something loud with their hands, and our grammarian might even count them. We'll find out about that as we get farther into this. Another thing that we like to do here, since we are a community of content creators, is to give people a little platform to talk about their latest accomplishments and throw anything that you've done recently out there in the realm of content creation, whether it's actually publishing something or even just formulating some more ideas. You can feel free to jump in and tell us a little bit about it, here on the video or in the chat, and we'll celebrate the content that you've created. Anybody have anything they'd like to share?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to advertise. I mean, I'm not here for that. But what I like to do is write for one of the two podcasts is write dialogue scripts, which are difficult to write because it's two voice actors, but then I also incorporate artificial intelligence voices from both Amazon and Google, and I incorporate them into the text as though they were having a discussion with the other actors, and it really works well, and it's a lot of fun. But I would love to have other people listen and tell me what they think and give me suggestions as well. So that's my ad.
That really sounds interesting, especially if you'd like to come back another time and maybe give a little talk on it, a little
Awesome.
demonstration of what this is and how you set it up. What you can do with AI these days is amazing, and honestly,
It is.
sometimes if you just see an idea from somebody and see a few minutes of how it's done, that's all you need to run with some ideas yourself. So that sounds like a wonderful topic.
It's fun.
Any anybody else have some content they'd like celebrated? But with that, we'll keep going through our meeting roles. Our general evaluator today is Jenna.
Thank you, Jim. I will be evaluating the overall meeting, and this role will actually also call on the functionary reports in the end. Well, actually, first I'll call on the speech evaluator and then functionary reports, and then I'll give my feedback. Back to you, Jim.
Great. Thank you. We have a table topics master again. I think he had some ideas in advance and hopefully doesn't need the karaoke one today, but can file that one away. But Kapil, if you can tell us a little bit about table topics.
You're on mute, Kapil.
Yeah. So should I like jump into directly the questions, or like should I give a context on what is the agenda? Like, is that
Just a quick description of what table
okay?
topics
So like
after the speech, you'll get to give the whole the whole spiel.
okay. Yeah, so basically we'll be, in this today's topic of table topics, we'll be talking about leadership. So I am kind of preparing for a podcast where I'm gonna, interview some leaders. And so in today's table topic, I'm gonna like, do a round robin of different questions on, the leadership foundations like values, decision making, and personal growth, decision making. So these kind of stuff I will be asking you questions around these lines, and then you can share your experience on those lines, and yeah, give our viewers some unique perspectives. So that's the idea.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
John has volunteered to be our timer today, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and help show off the signals again, too.
Sure. I using the slides that I got from Toastmaster International. With a speech, it would be 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, I would go to a green Zoom background, which I got from Toastmasters International. At 6 minutes, the yellow background, and at 7 minutes, a red background. And I have this completely unofficial version for you're disqualified. You never want to see this. So.
I don't dare ask what the P stands for.
Yeah. It's purple, but it means you just don't want to see it. It's beyond the red and it's not official and you don't want to see it. So.
Great.
Furthermore, evaluations are slightly shorter, 2 to 3 minutes typically, and table topics typically 1 to 2 minutes. But same general idea.
Great. Yep. So just keep an eye on the signals, and that'll help the meeting stay on time.
Oh, and for speakers, I start timing when I hear the speaker give their first word. So when they start talking, so you can give a preamble if you want, just let me know, and otherwise it'll be fine.
Great. Thank you, John. Our grammarian and word of the day counter is Jenna.
I will also be counting the word of the day, which I've heard at least 5 times already. But if we could all try and say it maybe once, that would be a great goal. And I will also be checking for grammar, misuse of the English language, or really great phrases that we use throughout this meeting. Back to you, Jim.
Great. Yep. Maybe we can use that word of the day and it'll help build a little bit of a rapport among our fun little team today. I see the odd counter roll is still open. Do we have any last minute takers for that? If we don't, I can count filler words as we go here too. And I haven't started yet because I didn't know this was a role that was coming my way, but I'll listen for filler words and let you know later in the meeting how many I heard from each of you. With that, that gets us to our prepared speaker today, and we're only 9 minutes behind. So we're doing okay. But we've got somebody from a completely different modality than I think we've seen here in content creators before. We're all trying to paint pictures with words, and Natti Peake will be telling us about painting pictures with actual painting tools. She'll be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Eva, did you get any more information on things to look out for in the evaluation, or just anything you'd like to add before we introduce the speaker? Otherwise, we'll get Natti started here without spending too much more time. Let's see. Her speech title is The Storyteller's Secret. And with that, let's welcome Natti Peake.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today. I wanted to share something with you that's very profound, something that has the power to transform how you communicate, connect, and inspire. It's called The Storyteller's Secret. And at the heart of this secret lies a truth that has been known for centuries. Storytelling is more than entertainment. It's a bridge to human connection. When we tell stories, we aren't just relaying events. We're creating bonds, building that rapport, and forging connections that go beyond words. It's through these connections that we understand each other better. And it's through stories like these that we find common ground. And our brains love stories. But why are they so powerful? The secret lies in our brains. Our minds are wired for narrative. Stories are not just things we hear, they are experiences we live. When we hear a story, our brains automatically engage and we become part of the tale. This makes stories highly impactful and memorable, far more than facts or figures could ever be. This is the secret weapon, the storyteller's secret. But how do we wield this secret? It begins with understanding the art of storytelling. Every great story has a core idea, a central theme that gives its meaning and direction. The theme is the compass that guides the narrative, ensuring that every element of the story aligns with its purpose. But a story also needs to ignite imagination. The storyteller's secret lies in evoking wonder and curiosity, transporting the audience to new realms of possibility. It's the conflict and transformation within a story that captures attention and holds it. Through challenges and changes, we see growth and resolution, elements that keep the audience invested, engaged. Yet, no story is complete without authenticity. Sharing personal experiences, being vulnerable, letting your true self shine through creates a genuine connection. This authenticity is the secret ingredient that makes a story relatable and real. Any skilled storyteller knows that anticipation is key. By building suspense and curiosity, you keep your attention and you keep your audience engaged. This is also the storyteller's secret to maintaining attention and making sure your listeners are on the edge of their seats, eager to hear what happens next. The storyteller's secret is really important, and it's never been any more relevant than it is now as content creators. It's the foundation of effective content creation across every platform. You could be crafting a social media post, a blog, marketing campaign, but at the heart of it, storytelling is your most effective tool. But Use it effectively. You must know your audience. Tailoring your story to resonate with specific demographics ensures that your message hits home. And ultimately, wrapping it up and just really thinking about that secret, you want to keep with your audience's impact. You need to build those connections, that rapport, foster relationships, and drive those results. I know we're thinking about metrics and numbers, but you may be looking to influence behavior, motivate change, achieve business outcomes. And I believe that storytelling is your most effective strategy. They have the power to inspire, move people, and to make them see the world differently, and to take action. That is the true secret of a storyteller. Harnessing the power of a narrative to create a rippling effect that goes far beyond the storyteller's secret. And I challenge you in your next content creation to tell a story, an experience, something you connect with, to connect with your audience and leave that with them. Thank you. Back to you, Jim.
Wonderful, wonderful speech, Natti. Lots of helpful hints. Yeah, remembering that stories are the things that get through to humans, the things that build that rapport. So it's a wonderful reminder and a bunch of helpful tips and a secret. Not so much of a secret anymore, but thank you. Next up is our table topics session. And our table topics master today is Kapil. Take it.
Hey. Okay, so I'll get started. So with the introductions, right? So welcome to the Toastmaster club members content club group. So I'm your host Kapil, and today's topic is about leadership. So a leader needs to have certain foundations like values, empathy, decision making, and a focus on the personal growth. So today we will be talking on those lines, and here are the perspectives from our own content creators members. So we have all the so how I'm gonna do this is like we'll go in a round robin fashion. I will pick your name and I'll ask you a question on one of this founding the leadership foundation, and then we can have a conversation about it. You can take your time to answer that question, and probably if there is any follow-up question, you can help me with that. So with this, we'll start with Helen. Hey, hi, Helen. So I'm going to touch base on the values topic with you. And the question I have with you for you is, what are the top 5 personal values you believe in, and how do they influence your decisions?
The top, how many values? I'm sorry.
The top 5 values you believe in and how they influence your decisions.
I would say my top 5 values are honesty, being open-minded, listening to the other person's point of view. Let's see. What's the other point of view? Keeping on track. And the last one would be sharing ideas.
That's nice. Good.
Yeah.
And how you think that these values these values of you influence your decision making? Like maybe you can take an example of one or two, and then talk about how does that helps in your decisions at times.
Certainly. I'm sort of used to a table topic response being one that I control all of. So this is a little bit different, having a conversation. So let me talk a little bit about honesty then, being sure that what you are asking of your team as a leader is something that you would expect you I would expect I could perform, as well as that I would expect all of the team members to perform. And if there was some feeling that that person couldn't perform what I've asked them to do, that they would feel the rapport necessary to actually say up front, I don't think that I'm capable of doing this, rather than taking the task and then not accomplishing it because they didn't feel competent. So that's an example of honesty. Right up front, the team members would feel empowered and part of the team to be able to say, I'm not quite comfortable performing this. I don't have the skills yet to do this. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to be part of the team, but I'm not competent yet. And I
Right.
think some teams get into trouble when the they're not honest, and then they can't perform. They start feeling that they're not valued member of the team because they don't have the skills yet. And they may even leave the company because they feel that they were being devalued, rather than saying up front, I need the education, the background, I need to go to training, I need to go to class for this. I want to be part of the team, so please help me. So
Okay.
making that as a leader, as a manager, an open and honest discussion ahead of time, I think would make the team and all the team members more viable. So thank you for that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great response, Helen. And I can imagine, right? Like this value, like how truly you believe in, and then you try to kind of implement that in your team as well, right? So which helps you to get the work done. So great response. Thank you so much.
thank you.
So next we'll go with Natalia, and I'm going to touch base on slightly on the decision making. Um, and the question to you, Natalia, is when you face with a difficult decision, how do you weigh pros and cons before making a decision? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Okay. Meanwhile, you're okay. So you're back. So should I repeat the question or you got it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, please repeat the question.
Yeah. So basically, at times, right, you've been facing with the difficult decisions, right? And on those times, right, how do you kind of lays down the pros and cons to make a choice? Like, what's your approach? If you could just talk about it.
First, I have to take like a little pause because I have to think about it. Right. So first, I have to have some certain time.
Okay.
Then I have to find out if I can do that, if I capable to make this decision. And third one, if I can, but I have some uncertain things in my mind, I have to ask somebody else to help me, to give me some advice or something else. And then I breathe deeply and then come up with the decision. I think that my approach to decisions.
Right. I think that's a great response. I think leaders at time, like they have to, some leaders take decisions based on their intuitions, and some leaders, take decisions based on data. So you looks like you are more on the, intuition based and, seeking out help whenever necessary. So yeah, I like that answer. Thank you so much. Next will yeah. Next we'll go with Reva. So Reva, I'm gonna touch base on empathy. A question to you around the empathy. So how does active listening mean to you? And how do you practice that in your relationship? And like, do you see any good outcomes as a result of that? If you can share some perspectives on that.
Yes, yes, thank you so much, Kapil, for that question. So about empathy and my listening skills, definitely it's something like I I want to believe, and people say about me is that I can build strong relationships with people because I am a good listener. And when I ask why do you think I am a good listener? One of the things the people said is that I really take the time to listen to them and ask questions about them. And it's something interesting because I was thinking, is this true? Or maybe I like to talk a lot, or maybe not. And I timer because I wanted to know by data how much I talk when I meet someone. And I timer myself, and definitely I am a listener, and I love to know people authentically. I love to know what they are doing, what they want to do, and I love to learn from people. So that is something that is in my nature, and people. One of the main things that people like to talk is about themselves. So give them time and ask them about themselves. They will love it. And that is a good way to have that empathy with them. And also it helps to build a strong relationship. So I recommend everyone to, when they meet someone new, to ask about them, about their day, and just listen. And you will see how beautiful it is to get to know a new person, because when you meet someone new, you meet another world and of things, possibilities, and beautiful things in life. So thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Table topics of the day. Back to you, Kapil.
Yeah, thank you so much. Although I have like a follow-up question to you, Reva, quickly. So you answered about like like how do you like act as an active listener, but sometime like you come across people, right, who talk less, right, who are more of like introvert. Then you have to kind of switch the hat. Does you do that, or like how does in those situations how you kind of deal? If you can share some perspective for our viewers.
Yes, those people that are introvert, because they are definitely, you need to talk a little more. But if you observe them, you will see what they like. Everyone has something that they like, and even introverts, they will start talking about it. And the easy topics is vacation, that it's like, oh, do you have plans for vacation soon? Oh, there is like everyone, oh yes, I am going to Aruba, I am going to the beach, doing this. Or if there are parents, oh, how are your kids? They will tell you everything about the new baby or someone, something. So there are few questions that you can ask, and they will love it. If they didn't know, it's okay, because always you need to respect the introverts, right? Because there are sometimes you don't want to talk too much about yourself, so you talk about something like, oh, it's a really nice meeting today, right? Did you meet someone nice? And they start talking about something neutral. So as soon as you go slow, and yeah, and then definitely sometimes you speak a little more, and it's okay also.
Yeah, that's a great response, Reva. Like, I think it's definitely going to help our aspiring leaders to, get some tips and trick how to handle the introverts. Thank you so much. So next, I'll move with Jena. Hey, Jena. So we'll be talking about personal growth to you. Okay. So how do you challenge yourself to step outside of your comfort zone and grow personally?
That is a great question. I've been thinking about personal growth a lot lately, and I neglected to say this in the content creation celebration part, but something that I've really been thinking about related to a speech that I gave a couple of weeks ago is this idea of the hero's journey. We hear about the hero's journey as it relates to movies and books, but I've really been thinking about the hero's journey as everybody being on their own hero's journey. And so I that is something that I'm connecting with things that I'm doing at work, and I'm also connecting it with my own personal growth. So if now I've embraced who I am, now I've set myself on this path of my hero's journey where I'm setting goals for myself. So if I know that I have this goal to put out a podcast, then I'm kind of backwards mapping like who am I who am I to have these ideas or have a voice that would be important enough to put out to the world, who can support me on my journey, and how am I going to get towards claiming that treasure. And then I reflect on that process, and then I just become an elevated version of myself. So I'm really trying to be mindful about setting goals and working towards accomplishing them, and then once I finish one, what's my next goal? So I think for me, it's all about that goal setting.
Great response, Jen. I loved it. Like making short goals and achieving them is a great way to handle, the overcome the difficulties. So next, I will move with Jim. So Jim will be touch basing on the values with you. Um, what personal qualities, do you admire in others, and after getting that inspiration, like how do you feel cultivating them in yourself?
This is actually a really relevant question for me because I had a job interview earlier this week and I indirectly got the same question, and hopefully I had a decent answer. Thinking about people I've worked with, the ones I've most enjoyed working with are the ones that you can build that rapport with. The kinds of people you can tell anything, no matter how harebrained, no matter how unconventional. And you can throw the idea out there and mine it for those nuggets of truth that might be in there and figure out a course of action that makes sense. It might not be the crazy idea. It might actually still be the crazy idea. But I've really enjoyed not having to have my guard up with bosses, for example, where in the right forum, you could say anything. And as long as wasn't like a death threat or something like that, there weren't going to be repercussions. You could say what was on your mind and you'd figure out what it meant in terms of possible ways forward. And when I work with people, either because they're reporting to me or just as a teammate, I always point out that I very much value that. People need a spot to say what's on their mind, and no idea really should be dismissed out of hand. It really is that there are no dumb ideas except for maybe those death threats. Let's get the ideas out there, figure out what useful information there is in there, what useful path forward there is, and then pick that path forward and make it happen. Thank you.
Yep, that's a great response, Jim. Thank you so much, on touch basing, sharing ideas and, being open to each other. So that's a great example you mentioned. So with this, I hope our viewers have got a lot of perspectives on different leadership skills. And with this, I will pass over this to Journal Evaluator Gina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kapil,
Thank
for
you.
being our Table Topics host. I'm actually thinking in my mind that we should change some of the language of this to be content creation. So that you did a really great job. And I think if you are on the road to doing your podcast at work, it's just keep practicing. And that's why we love to have you here. So, for anybody table topics is a great role to take if you want to practice your listening skills, if you want to practice your just coordinating like an interview, and you kind of treated it like that. So I really appreciate you doing that today. And I will take over as general evaluator. So the first person that I will call up is Lereva. She is going to be evaluating Natty's speech. So let's welcome Lereva.
Thank you so much, Jenna. So tonight yes, I am the speech evaluator for Natti, and my evaluation will be formed in three parts. So what I like about the speech, what the suggestions or feedback that I will give to Natti, and also what I love about the speech. So what I like about this speech is that definitely I love the fact that, well, I always love it, so I cannot say like. I love the fact that, Natti, you prepare for the speech. Despite you're not a Toastmasters, I could see that you well prepared, you rehearsal, and you provided a very well-structured speech. That was amazing. Thank you so much and also something that I saw that you tailored that speech for us as a content creators, and you mentioned that one. Oh, if you want to impact your audience, your social media, and you start mentioning that. So thank you for that. That was very clever and smart to do. Something that I can suggest for you how to enhance your speech is to add that touch, that personal touch about you, how you use example, that the fact that you're a painter, how you tell a storytelling in your painting. I wanted to hear about you. I wanted to see how, that beautiful, image that you have in your background, how you did it, which story you wanted to tell with that. So that is something that you can apply for any speech, because when someone speaks, wants to know about you. That is the thing. And something that I love about you is your openness to come to our meeting as a guest speaker. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Also, the fact that your energy, your charisma, you transmitted that through the meeting, through your speech. I love the eye contact that we have. You were very, very, very well. We can see that you were looking at us. So we love that one too. So thank you. In overall, you did a wonderful job. And thank you so much again for coming and sharing with us this beautiful speech that definitely, as a content creators, we are taking notes and we want to apply it to. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lereva. That was a great speech evaluation, and I loved how you structured it and told us that that's exactly what you're going to say, and you delivered. So great job. Now we will go over to our functionary reports, and I will start with our timer. John, how did we do today?
Everybody met timing constraints just perfectly.
Yay. I know. I was watching the colors, and I have to say, I like your backgrounds with the letters in it. That's very accessible to have.
Yeah, that came from Toastmasters International a few years ago when they somebody there decided that it would be nice to have the big letters for those who are vision impaired.
Yes. Yes. I like it. So thank you for stepping up in that role. That was greatly appreciated. Next, I will go. I am going to go over the word of the day and grammarian report. So congratulations to you all. We used the word rapport at least 10 times throughout this meeting. So good job. And I feel like this meeting is all about building rapport with one another. And Natti, your speech, you did a great job connecting that. You had this phrase that storytelling is the bridge to human connections. And I really loved that. And I think that was the one that I wrote down, but you actually had so many colorful, so I'm not even saying it grammatically correct. You had a lot of colorful language throughout your speech. So if I'm thinking about grammar, that is what I wanted to point to because you said that phrase and you also said, how do we wield this secret? And that really piqued my interest when you said that. And then you started paint. You're a painter, so I actually agree with Lireva. I would have loved to hear a little bit of the storytelling into that story right there. But I could tell that you were actually painting a picture with words in that speech. So congratulations to you. And just a couple of things that we can work on in terms of grammar. I think I heard the question, how does active listening mean to you? I probably would have said it, what does active listening mean to you? And then the question, does you do that? Instead of does you do that, do you do that? So just little changes to some of those question words right there. But overall, I think we did a really great job. So congratulations to us all. And I will go over to Jim. How did we do with our filler words?
It's always a mixed bag. Tonight was actually pretty it was actually pretty good. A very impressive performance from Natti. She got through that whole speech. I didn't really catch anything that was an obvious filler word. I caught, I think tailoring, you maybe doubled that word up once, and I think there was one spot where you used an and that maybe it fit, maybe it was a filler word, maybe it was a run-on sentence. But for as much speaking as you did, that was a wonderful performance. I've caught a couple of butts from myself, and there's probably more. It's always hard to catch them all from yourself, but I did catch a couple, so I know I'm not perfectly clean. Kapil did a bunch of talking and had a bunch of filler words. I had, let's see, more than 10 ums, so's, and uhs each. Like is another word that came out a bunch of times. I counted 7, 9 you knows, a few other small ones, but those are the ones to watch for. Helen did pretty well. I think she's gone now, but I had 2 double thes, a yeah, an another extra the, a so, a double as. Not bad. Natalia, also very good. 2 uhs, 1 like, 1 yeah. Ava, again, lots of talking, so picked up a few filler words here and there. I got 10 so's, that's a favorite word. 8 uhs, probably about half a dozen other double words along the way, including a quadruple I. It's all right. If this is the gymnastics competition, that gets some extra difficulty points. Nice job. Nice job overall. Jenna, you did pretty well too. You had 7 so's. That's your favorite word. A couple of likes, and 2 extra. I think it was a double I. So didn't quite hit the quadruple, but we had a good day anyway. So. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you, Jim. It is really helpful to be aware of those filler words. As long as I've been in Toastmasters, it's so is the hardest one for me to get out of my vocabulary. I'm working on it, as we all are, which shows that this is why we show up, right? This is the place for us to be here and to support each other through it. Because especially if we're content creators and we're going to start a podcast, we're going to do a YouTube series, we're going to do some videos. This is a great playground. And I think last week we talked about table topics as our speaking playground. So I appreciate all of you for participating in this meeting. And I'll just go right into this evaluation of this meeting. I first want to thank all of you for being here and showing up. Natalia, I know that you had come before, and so it's so great to have you back. If ever you're ready to join as a member, we're welcome. You're welcome to join as of for any of you. So, John, it's great to have a podcaster here, Kapil, an aspiring. I'm not sure if you've started your podcast, but I think this is. I'm very appreciative of you for stepping up to table topics and treating it as a way for you to practice those interviewing skills. I know that traditionally we don't have a conversation back and forth with the person who does table topics, but I think that in content creators, we can be creative and we can do things in the way that we want to, because I think that this should be a playground where we're helping one another reach and accomplish the goals that we have for ourselves. So good job, Kapil, on doing that. I think a good practice for all of us, since we record these meetings, I'll post the meeting and just subscribe to the YouTube channel or watch it back, because the best feedback you're ever going to get is you watching yourself back. And I know that sometimes it feels uncomfortable, but you need that, right? You need to see, ooh, I said that, or that phrase that I used didn't sound quite right. And then just write it down, make a note of it. So the next time you go to interview somebody, then you can already have that fixed. So that's the beauty of being in Toastmasters, and that's the beauty of us recording our meetings. So it's there for all of us, for other people to see, but it's a great tool for ourselves. So with that, I will wrap up my evaluation of this meeting, and let's see. I will return control over to the Toastmaster. So, Jim, I'm going to give it back to you.
Okay. There we go. I think we magically ended up back on time. That might just be because of the way the agenda reads, but we had for the next thing on here something from somebody who I haven't seen tonight. I think Francisco is going to talk a little bit about joining, so maybe we can do that a little bit together. Again, this is a pretty new club. Jenna, I, and a few others have been trying to build it up for really since about January or February. We officially got the club going at the end of June, and hence the count of this being meeting number 4. It took us a little while to get a rhythm. It started taking us a little bit to get members, and we are still out here looking for more members. So anybody who's here as a guest, if you like what you saw, you're obviously welcome back as a guest. At some point, though, we hope you consider joining officially. It is a Toastmasters club, so Toastmasters charges what is it, $60 every half a year. I exactly what it costs to get started, I think, depends on exactly when you decide to join and whether you've been a part of another Toastmasters club before. But it's not super expensive, and for your trouble, you get the education paths, you get this club meeting, and any other club that you'd care to go to. You're welcome at any Toastmasters club. Anything else that you think we should add on that front, Jenna? Do you want to maybe put the link in there for your sign up form?
Yeah, so I was doing it on a Google form, but then Helen told me that I should be collecting actual membership forms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the membership link in the chat. And if you want, the link to the actual membership form is there, but all the information is on that Google Doc. And then it also, oh, payment. I don't, Jim, I don't know. Should they still pay me and then I can pay, or now that we've become an official club, we have a way of doing it?
You can do it a few different ways. I mean, one option, do you know, did we turn on self-pay
We
on the
did.
website? If we did, what that means is people can fill out the membership form. They don't have to fill out the payment information. Whenever we do the data entry, whether those forms go to you or I think we have a interim VP of membership. It's listed as Monique.
Yes.
Whoever does the data entry, either of you can do it. Toastmasters will kick out an email to the new member asking them to go to the website and pay. So that's another way of doing it. They don't necessarily have to pay you. They don't even have to fill in the credit card info on the form if they want. If they don't want to, the member can enter it directly after they've sent in the form and we've done the data entry.
Okay. So
Especially for people who don't want their credit card numbers out there in lots of people's hands, then that's probably the most secure way of doing it. But the other methods work too. At the end of the day, Toastmasters is happy if they get the money in one way or another.
okay. So yeah, if you're interested, my contact information is there. You can contact me or you can fill out the form. You can send it to me. You don't have to do the payment. We could work that out. So any questions, contact any of us, come back to the meeting, ask questions. We just want you to know that we value being here regardless. So thank you. Is there anything else? I think that's all I have to say for membership.
If any of our guests who are still here have any thoughts, observations, those would be good to get. You want to go around and I suppose I can just call on people and you can say whatever's on your mind, or you don't have new ideas. That's fine too. But Natalia, I see your picture first, so let's start with you. Any thoughts?
So regarding what?
Just impressions from the meeting, things you liked, things we can do better.
I love it actually. I saw so many people, and we had a wonderful speech presented today, and we have wonderful table topic, interesting, and we have evaluator, general evaluator, timer, counter, grammarian. Everything is very good done. So I think that this meeting is very good. And we had a chance to talk a little bit, to exchange ideas and rapport.
Oh,
We've got to be up to 20 by now. So. But no, I'm glad to hear that. We've been trying to create a community of content creators, and it sounds like you're seeing some of that shine through. That's really good to hear. Again, you're welcome back, as are all of you. So hope you can come again next week or any other one in the future.
So I have one question. So what kind of content creator you are looking for? So what kind of content you are looking for? Podcasting, like YouTube video, whatever, or something else?
That's the really cool part about this. It's all of the above.
Okay, somebody who wants.
People. All these different formats are good ways to get your message out. Which one really depends on your message and your personality. And I think we all learned something hearing, even the podcasters learned something from the YouTubers, and the authors learned something from the painters. So there's a lot to actually more rapport and collaboration than I think even we expected when we got started. So yeah, I think the answer is whatever the format, you're welcome here.
I started thinking what kind of content I can bring in. So I'm just wondering, what kind of speech I can create, I can fabricate.
I mean, so I would just say, what things are you most passionate about, right? Think about those kinds of things and things that you're really into right now. I mean, eventually, that's how I found my voice. I just kept writing speeches. And then through the speeches, I started seeing common themes and things that I was really into. And then it was just like, oh my gosh, I know who I am. I know like what I want to say to the world. Just keep coming and keep practicing. That's how it happened for me.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I will try to find out the most fascinating speech I can create.
Yeah, and anything just through your lens, right? Nobody has the experience that you have, right? So everybody comes with a unique perspective, just, that nobody else has really heard before. Nobody has your lived experience. So keep telling those stories, just like Natti said, and it'll come.
Oh, he he put so high rank, so high bar so high. Sorry.
Hey, we
That
don't
is the cool
expect
thing here.
perfection in this
That is the cool
club.
thing here. There's nothing bad happens if you don't hit whatever bar you think there is, because there really isn't a bar here. The idea is just to get a little bit better each time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have also one feedback, like, I mean, or like more of a question, right? So, so the kind of discussion we had, right? I mean, it let people think, right? So maybe that's why, like, we had some pauses, right? Otherwise, these are like not very, I mean, these are a bit tricky questions, which makes you think, right? So, like going forward, like, like maybe in the next I don't know, next month or next meeting, should I like come up with this? You guys like this idea of doing it, for giving me a platform to practice, or you think like we just go with the regular stuff, where we come with some random topic to talk and then let everyone talk, for 2 minutes. So any feedbacks on that?
I mean, I think if you just whenever you take up the role, you get to control what table topics is. So
Okay.
if you know how you have something that's coming up and you want to prepare for it and you want to ask us some questions related to it, go for it.
Right.
And then we'll just rotate the role and then it'll just be coming from a different person and from a different perspective. So then we'll always be getting a variety of different table topics.
Okay. Sounds good. But is this like you guys find it engaging? Like that was the main feedback. I mean, I want to capture like you guys feel that you felt engaged in the conversation, because that's also one thing I'm trying to achieve at the end of the day, right? But this platform is slightly different, right? Because you want to talk, right? For the 2 minutes or 3 minutes, right? So the engagement is I don't know, like how do we kind of take care of that going forward? Like, back and forth questions, or it would be tough, right? I guess, or you guys are fine with that.
Anybody else is welcome to jump in too, but I'll say for myself, I actually kind of liked the idea tonight. It was something different, and Jenny used the word variety, and that was a word I was going to come back to too. Different formats are good things. We've had people bring up a Jeopardy board, and we've gotten our questions off of there. We've had people just get questions directed right at them. Other times we take volunteers. So there's lots of variety, and that's helpful. Your table topics format was really kind of a start down the path towards, say, a podcast interview. It's not just one question. There's follow-up, and there's value in learning that. So I'd say bring it back in the future if it's useful.
Okay.
Anybody else have thoughts?
And I can echo. Oh yes, but Natalia, sorry, Natalia, go ahead. I will go after you.
Yeah, so I would just suggest that while we're doing table topic questions, to be more concise, because sometimes when the question is too long, we can kind of lose the point.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my
Like for the question or for the response, like
for the question, because question is
okay.
and we have to
Okay.
think just a couple of seconds, and then we have
Okay.
two, 1 or 2 minutes, right?
Right.
To answer. Yeah, that's
Yeah, or maybe give a more context on the question, because I've seen the podcaster, they talk like a kind of build a story around the question and give it a time to the guest to talk about it, right? Meanwhile, so is you guys like prefer that would be like a better approach?
I think one of the suggestions could be that when you maybe, I think you did great, but the only thing is we are used to, there are people that also are visual. So
Right.
if you copy the question in the chat, that will help a lot. because you already say it one time. For me, I needed to take a note, but there are people that don't take a note because it was as Natalia mentioned, it's a long question. But I took a note, so for me it was okay. But I love the fact it wasn't the chat will be easier for me.
Okay.
But something that I want to add is for you, I loved your energy. It was great. You were engaging and you asked questions. And I love the fact that we participate and you ask another question. Continue. It was a little off for me because we are not used to in this format.
Right.
But still, why not? We like Jenna and Jean said, we are open here, and I like that one too. It was a little conversation there, but still we respect the times. We know we speak
Right.
the 3 minutes, so that is still is good. So I like it. I think was a great job as a table topic master. You did great, and most important is your energy, and you did that. You engaged everyone, so that was wonderful.
Okay, thank you. So then I'll probably think about, another, table topic on, similar lines, and then we'll see. Try to be more, I'll try to be more engaging and keep my questions to crisp, to Natalia's point. Yeah, thank you so much. Yep.
John,
Yeah,
do you have any quick feedback as a podcaster? How long have you been doing it?
This is my fourth season, so I've been doing, well, full year actually. I've been doing it since the beginning of 21.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
wow.
Yeah, so I've got like two weekly podcasts, so it's about like 380 episodes or something like that.
Wow.
If you had both, if you had two of them up. So yeah. So my only feedback oh, I'm sorry.
I'd say the habit stuck. That's one of the things I've always
Yes, well,
barrier to podcasting. It's like I can't
somebody
just
talked about goal building before.
I got to keep going.
Goal building before, and practice, and that's what you have to keep doing it to get good at it, whatever it is. Whether if it's fitness or creation or whatever it is, you have to do something repeatedly to get good at it. So, yeah, my only feedback on the table topics would be that from a timing perspective, it was hard to time with multiple sections. So I would just say, but I like the interview style because that taught me something new. So I would say maybe just say, we're gonna have a conversation here, and now this is the thing that should be timed, or something like that. Maybe the second answer or the third or something. That would just make it
or the overall combination or something.
Yeah, that would just make it easier for the timer. But the creation, the idea was great. So
okay, sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Did Nettie just drop?
Yeah, she said she had to go. So maybe we should just wrap it up. But yeah. Are we
okay? Yeah, I think the only other thing I can think of doing, if we wanted to try to find roles for next week, we could do that. Otherwise, well, we're 7 minutes over too. So
yeah,
if
you do have a role, you can put it in the chat. If anybody wants to be Toastmaster next week, or do we have? I don't know. I didn't bring it up.
We have a guest speaker. I don't think we have anything else yet.
Do we have? Oh, did Francisco sign up, or is it
no? I've got Anna Nelson.
She's another person that I invited. Is the last one. So let me just confirm that she's coming, and and that confirm. But last week she mentioned that yes, but I know she has been busy with something. So let me see that one. I will confirm with you these days like that in advance.
Okay. Thank you, Natalia. Well, thank you all for being here. We will end this meeting, and if you want to take on a role, let us know. We have any of the roles open, actually. Table topics, Toastmaster, and then we'll fill in for whatever open roles we have. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm up for the Toastmaster because this is gonna let me practice. But if there is no one, kind of volunteer for that, so I can definitely keep on volunteering for that because it is going to let me set up that, bridge of making people talk. So yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I love it. Thank you, Kapil.
Okay.
I'll put you down for Toastmaster
Okay.
for the 15th. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Yay.
That's-
Well,
Thank
I'll send out the agenda, and then we'll fill it in throughout the week.
Okay. Sure. Sounds good. Nice
All
talking to you.
right. Well,
Thank
have a
you.
good
Thanks to you all
evening,
for being here
everyone.
and sticking it
Thank
out,
Take care,
even
everybody.
though it ran
you.
long.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you, John.
Thank you, everybody.
What are your podcast? Oh, he's gone. I'll catch him another time.
All right. Great.
I'm curious to hear what podcasts he's been doing, if he's been doing them for a few years.
I
Maybe
know, 4 years. That's incredible.
and that's always been the thought that's gone through my mind, that if I'm going to start, I have to be ready to keep going. Otherwise,
Consistency. I know.
there are plenty of podcasts and websites and stuff like that where there's 1 or 2 episodes and then they fizzle that quickly, and I don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe just start recording a bunch of things, and then when you're ready, then
That's true. That's true. You can
schedule
have 10
release
podcasts ready to go or before you even put episode 1 out there.
There you go. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I've been so too busy at work to even to think about it, but I really want to do something
Me
soon.
too. I think I found his 2 podcasts after doing a quick search on them. So
Okay, well, let me stop this real